guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm so freaking excited because we're gonna be reading a bunch of fall themed books just to romanticize fall and get into the fall spirit. Hi guys, it is officially fall. The leaves are starting to change colors, and every time I leave the house I just have this itch to get coffee that's either pumpkin spice flavored or maple syrup flavored, and that's how you know the fall is in full effect. Today I figured it would be really fun to get started on my fall TBR. If you guys don't know, I posted a fall TBR video last week and I'm trying my hardest to stick to it, so I figured I would start with the most atmospheric reads. Just kind of help get us into the fall spirit and just romanticize fall and really like feel all the feelings to help romanticize it for the whole season, because fall comes and goes really quickly and it's one of my favorite seasons aesthetically, so I want to make the most of it. First book that we're starting with is going to be a book that literally screams fall. I recently bought this in a book shopping vlog. If you haven't seen it, I will link that video down below, but it is none other than If It Makes You Happy by Julie Olivia. This is just like such a cute little fall cover, and I've been seeing a lot of people have been reading it and liking it. Everyone's been saying that it's kind of like Gilmore Girls vibe in terms of the aesthetic. This book also takes place in the late 90s, which is so interesting because I always read more like contemporary romances. The whole early 2000s rom-coms are such a vibe and such a difficult, like rare aesthetic to find and recreate in modern day. A lot of the new rom-com movies haven't really been hitting, so I'm really excited to actually dive into a story that takes place in the late 90s and just go back into kind of like that world. I say go back. Was I alive in 1997? I was not, but you know, that's okay. You get what I'm saying. I actually started reading this the day that I bought it, and I made it about 45 pages in, and I've annotated a couple things. Most of them have to do with fall, so I feel like this is literally the perfect book to start this a little weekly challenge. But I am really excited to get into reading it. Do I really think that a romance book, especially like an atmospheric read, it needs to be almost 500 pages? Probably not. I really hope it doesn't get boring, but we're just gonna keep on reading and we will see. If you haven't already, make sure to drop a like on this video and subscribe if you haven't, because what are you doing? I post on this channel every single week. Also, while you're down there, make sure to comment down below what is your most anticipated read from your fall TBR, if there's a book that you think I should read, or just comment which genre you like to read the most in the fall. I feel like I'm definitely a romance / mystery girly. I love a good mystery. I love a good mystery thriller. Let's get into it. It is the next day and I am still reading If It Makes You Happy. This book is so freaking cute. I'm currently on chapter 12, which is about this much of the way through. I'm on page 150. This book is definitely really interesting. It's not the best book I ever read, and I do feel like somewhat connected to the characters, but not really. I feel like, again, this is one of those like atmospheric books that I don't expect is gonna be life-changing, and I don't expect that I'm gonna remember the plot. Like, the plot of it is very cozy, very low stakes. Nothing's really going on. In case you don't know, this follows the story of a girl, main character, who is a big city girl. She lives in the city, she works in the city, she was married there. But at the beginning of the book, we find out that she gets divorced, and that happens around the same time that her mom passes away. And so she's kind of going through a lot. And her mom had this little bed and breakfast place out in this like a small town, and the responsibility of that fell onto her younger sister. But her younger sister is still in school for the next like 3 months or so. So in the meantime, our girl, main character, decides that she's gonna step in and basically go to the small town and take care of the bed and breakfast until her sister basically graduates school and is able to move over there and take over, which is what she was intending to do, because, you know, our girl, main character, she's a city girl. She doesn't really like the small towns, and she's always been in the city, and she's never really understood the hype over these small towns. So she goes over there, she meets this guy who is her neighbor, and he's a single dad, which for some reason is always a plus in books. never a plus in real life, at least for me personally. But they strike up this friendship, and it's nothing really high stakes, nothing really crazy is happening. She's just kind of trying to figure out how to run this business that she has never been involved in, and he just kind of goes about his day and kind of helps her out occasionally with different things. He's also a baker, if that means anything to any of you. I know that's like a microtrope that people are like really into, like the whole chef thing or baker thing. But yeah, it's very atmospheric. The only things that I've annotated so far have been about just like the fall vibes and crispy leaves and just like the sense of fall, how fall looks and how fall feels. Like I haven't connected very much to the romance, and I feel like usually when I annotate romance books, it's always annotating like really good quotes or really impactful acts of service and stuff like that, but there hasn't been all that many. I have been listening to the audiobook today for the most part. I read a few chapters last night, which these chapters are kind of long, I feel like, and then today I was listening to the audiobook while I was driving, and so that's where I'm at right now. I think I'm gonna go ahead and have a little cozy night in. I remember that I have this little coloring book, and I just feel like this is like peak fall activity, and I have my markers here, so I think I'm gonna sit and keep listening to the audiobook while I color. If you guys are wondering, this is called the Super Cute Coloring Book by Haji. I don't know how to pronounce that, but it's this one right here. I've had it for a while, and this is just like a really fun little hobby. And I know there's like a couple of different pages for different seasons and different holidays, so I'm gonna find a fall one, do a little bit of coloring. I also went and picked up food, and I was listening to the audiobook while I was waiting for my food to prepare. I got a little poke bowl, so I'm gonna eat that and do a little coloring. I'm very excited. Guys, it is a new day, and I just wanted to come and give a little update because I officially finished reading If It Makes You Happy. I bought this because I thought it was going to be the book for the fall, and to a certain extent it was a very atmospheric read. It had mentions about the fall. I wish there was like a little bit more mentions of the fall and a little bit more kind of like fall setting and descriptions and everything like that, because everything that I annotated in this book was about that, and the sound of the leaves on the ground and like colors and the scenery and just how fall feels. And I wish there was more mentions of that because I definitely enjoyed it. Overall, this was exactly what I thought it was gonna be. I didn't have crazy high expectations because all of these atmospheric reads that kind of go viral every single year, they're never 5-star reads for me personally. They're just kind of for the vibes, and I went into it kind of knowing that that's what it was gonna be, and that's exactly what it was. So I can't even pretend to be like shocked or upset by the rating that I'm giving this book. However, it was really cute. Was it my best, most favorite book I have ever read? No. Was it the best romance I have ever read? The most complex story? Am I super addicted to the characters? No. Like, chances are I'm probably not even gonna remember their names in like the next week or so, but that is okay because I had a good time reading it. It definitely just made me romanticize fall and made me think about fall, and yeah, it just felt very like cutesy. It kind of gave like Gilmore Girl vibes, or just kind of like a rom-com where the girl leaves the big city and like her dream job and settles into a small town that she never expected. I did enjoy the ending quite a bit. Like the middle part I was a little bit bored, and I was like, okay, like literally what's happening? Can we just like move on a little bit? It just got a little bit stale for me, but I did enjoy the ending. It had the whole like dramatic effect that every single rom-com has, with like a crazy kind of like over the top confession, and I definitely enjoyed that. And one of the things that really caught me off guard, and I want to literally, just because of the epilogue, I want to give this book an extra like half a star or like full star rating. The epilogue is from the dog's POV.
I'm sorry, what? I have literally never read a single book in my life that had a POV from an animal. That is so freaking cool. The dog kept calling our main character like my girl, and then like the funny guy was like the MMC, and then like all the side characters kind of had descriptors. It was just such an interesting POV to get. And also I noticed it at the very beginning. The epilogue is 8 years later, which is so interesting because I feel like epilogues in these romance books are usually like 6 months later, I am pregnant and I have moved into my dream house and I can't believe this is my life. Like, I feel like that's how they always go. So to get an epilogue that is not only from the dog's perspective but also 8 whole years later was so freaking interesting. And yeah, honestly, that was so freaking cool. Super interesting. I enjoyed this very much. It gave what I needed it to give, which was just the atmospheric vibe. Even though my next book is gonna be a little bit more, maybe like pull on my heartstrings a little bit, or maybe I'll feel a little bit more connected to the characters and the romance and everything like that, because I didn't feel super duper connected to our main characters. I feel like I didn't know them super duper well, and it was just kind of like a fluffy read. And I'm kind of ready for a more, maybe like a more serious, not like serious in a bad way, but just like something a little bit extra, something a little bit more intense, maybe some more intense feelings, so I can, you know, feel it here too, because I feel like that'd be really cool. The book that I'm going to be reading today is People Watching by Hannah Bottom Young. I am very excited to read this. I already read the first few chapters of this as soon as I finished the first book in this video, so cue back to that footage. Good morning, guys. It is a new day. It's actually more like an afternoon, and I just came and found a little park. I was on a little walk, and obviously I have my Kindle with me. I bring that thing with me everywhere, but I figured it was a really good time to just kind of sit, enjoy the outside. It's nice and sunny today, and I don't know how many of those days we're gonna get the more we go into fall. And I saw that this book got released. This is People Watching by Hannah Bottom Young, and she is the same author that wrote Out on a Limb and Next of Kin, which I read Out on a Limb, or I listened to it rather, on a plane, and absolutely devoured it. I loved it, even though it had the accidental pregnancy trope, which I despise most of the time. So the fact that she was able to pull that off just has me very excited to read more of her writing. And this one is giving very much fall vibes. I saw it at the bookstore, and it's like all orangey colors. It's kind of hard to see on the Kindle because it doesn't show the actual colors, but yeah, I just wanted to kind of start. Oh, okay. But I wanted to start this today and see how I like it, see what it's even about. I honestly have no idea. I just saw the cover and I saw the author, and that's all I needed to know. So I'm going into it kind of blind. I don't know if this is another accidental pregnancy trope. I kind of hope not, but also her last one, even though I don't like that trope, I still enjoyed it. So I trust that she'll be able to do the story justice no matter what the trope is. And this one also has the perfect fall vibes on the cover, so I'm hoping that those are also part of the story, because that is the purpose of why I chose this book, and that is all the books that I'm reading this week. I also have a little coffee that I picked up, a little iced vanilla latte, because even though it is fall, it's still warm out, and I want to enjoy iced coffees for as long as humanly possible, because I'm gonna love a good iced coffee. And it's really good. It also has cinnamon inside, which is literally just like such a fall ingredient, and I feel like it tastes really good. Alright, let's get to reading. I did not realize how many books this author had released. I've only read one, so if this is a good book and I give it a high rating, that's very exciting, because maybe, just maybe, means I have found a new favorite author, and she has a lot of books on her backlog that I could start reading. Oh my gosh, I forgot that this author is Canadian, and at the very beginning it says author's note, and she says this book is set in a small town of Bayesville in Muskoka, Ontario. If you guys don't know, I also live in Ontario, so every time there's books that are set in Ontario or in Canada, I just get so excited, because it makes it super easy to imagine what the vibes are like and what the aesthetic is like, because I literally live in this country. Already, I really like her guy main character. I think he's funny, and I like just like the things that he says, the way he expresses things. I feel like the writing is already just like so good. I don't mean this to like throw shade in the last book that I read, but the last book that I read definitely feels like the writing is more amateur vibe versus like the way that Hannah Bottom, it's gonna sound really mean, but the last book kind of felt like I could have written it, or like kind of what I would write in my journal, whereas this is poetic in like the smallest of ways, but you can tell that she's put a lot of thought in how she's gonna express every single detail. Like at the beginning, my beloved Van's speedometer is broken, as is most of her, but the temperature gauge isn't, unfortunately. The needle is fluctuating between "you're beyond and are you on fire yet? Like, that's such an interesting way to say that, you know what I mean? Or the fact that our main guy character is literally talking to his car as if it's a girl, and he's like, the sound of the metal grinding against metal, an irritating high-pitched squeaking is her answer. Then the choking of an engine, like the mechanical equivalent of a smoker's cough, which is never a good sign. Like, what a freaking cool and interesting way to say that, you know what I mean? Like, if I had written it, that's not what I would have thought to say. It would have been super simple. So things like that just make it super, super, super interesting, and it just feels like a professional actually wrote this, and it's like the imagery of it is so freaking cool. Like, I have never once thought to compare a smoker's cough to an engine of a car that is not working well. Like, that is so cool. I don't want to jinx myself, but I'm really liking this so far. So now you're all caught up and we're back to real time, so I'm gonna go and continue reading, people watching. I have found another really cool, unique spot. My favorite thing to do is to just kind of drive around and find random peaceful spots to sit and read, and I came across this view, and I'm just like right by the lake, and I have a beautiful, stunning view of just downtown Toronto with the whole skyline, and I have literally never been here in my life. I don't even know how I got here. I was just like randomly driving, and you know, I'm a little Cancer baby, so I love being by the water. I love being by the lake. I love reading by the ocean. Like, I love reading anywhere where there's a body of water. I have so many videos of me just reading by the beach or by the lake or whatever. So naturally, I just found a new spot, and here I am. So I'm gonna see if there is anywhere for me to sit and read, but I'm just gonna maybe walk around. I could also start listening to the audiobook, because I do think that this book is on Spotify. So we're gonna go see, and I'm really, really excited to get into the story. Hi guys, it is a new day, and I'm here to give a little update. I actually ended up DNFing the book that I was reading. I know, I'm sorry. I feel like this year I've been a lot more unforgiving with books, and I gave it a good chance. I feel like I read a solid, probably like more than 20% of the way through, but I don't know what it is. They just gave me the ick, and as a book that's specifically focused on romance, like it is a romance book, and it's literally all about the characters and all about the story, I just did not love our couple together. I feel like there was absolutely zero chemistry at the beginning. I was a fan of the guy, and I didn't really love the girl main character as much. Like, I liked that the guy main character was super confident and super kind of like cocky, almost like arrogant, and he was super flirty, and he make a lot of efforts to kind of like create fun banter in the relationship. But I feel like a lot of the times, especially like in the first 20% of the book, I don't know if it gets better later on, but up until the part that I read, I feel like she rarely reciprocated any of the banter, and it always felt like she was kind of like super insecure the whole time, and I don't know, like, it just didn't really feel like they were clicking. And then after a while, we learned that she's actually like super, super inexperienced, and that's why she was nervous. But then, not only that, but we learned that her main guy character is actually like super, super experienced. Like, I was literally jaw on the floor when he told our girl main character how many people he has been involved with, and I don't know, something about that just gave me the ick, because it's like one thing to have like an inexperienced and then a more experienced person, but to have somebody that has no experience at all, and then have somebody that has just like been involved with so many different people, I just feel like that like pairing of the couple just doesn't really make a lot of sense in my head. Because like, if she's super inexperienced and it's by choice because she is waiting for somebody that's worth the wait, I feel like he just isn't all that special. And I absolutely hate when, like, I don't know, maybe it just like kind of like irked me out because of like real life world examples, but like when men who have just like been involved with anybody and everybody, and they're like for the streets, and then they find somebody that's like sweet and innocent, and they're just like so quick to want to get involved and to just like be the one that was able to get involved with this person, like, I don't know, it irked me out. I don't know, it just kind of gave me the ick, and it's like, I don't know if I like you anymore. For me personally, I know this is gonna be kind of like a hot take, and it's gonna be sort of like an unpopular opinion maybe, but I feel like it takes away from all the banter, because like, if you have banter and you're flirty with our girl main character, then that's fun and that's special. But if you've had banter and flirtiness and like have gotten involved with literally like 200 people, I feel like it just like doesn't really make it as special anymore, at least to me. I don't know, I feel like all of his monologue was also just like super lusty and like very physical from his end, like about how she's so attractive and this, that, and the third. I just feel like he didn't really understand her or really like get to know her. I don't know, I just feel like the couple shouldn't really be together, and I feel like the couple is just not really gonna last, and that their relationship is built on like superficial, like lusty kind of feelings instead of like actual true connection. Like I like the part where her mom is going through some stuff and he went over and like helped her out, and I thought that was really sweet. Maybe he's good as a friend, but I just don't like the pairing of them as like a romantic partner. I just feel like they don't really click. I don't know if that makes sense. I just I don't know, he just kind of gave me the ick. You know when sometimes you just like randomly get the ick, or like the characters will just like do something specific and it will just like bother you for no apparent reason. Like that's how I feel about them, and I just feel like they just shouldn't be together, and that immediately just made me lose interest in the story, because it's like I don't really care to sit here and watch you guys get together. I don't really care. And so there's that. Which is so crazy because when I started this video, I was so excited and I love the writing and I love the premise and I love everything that was happening and I love the flirtiness and I love the banter, but I don't know, it just like kind of has weird vibes for me right now, and so I'm deciding to DNF it because life is short and it already took me basically a whole week to get through the first book that I was reading in this video, which is If It Makes You Happy. Granted, the book is so freaking long, like why is it more than 500 pages, like please. But I'm just kind of bored and I'm just kind of over the fall themed books. Like they're fun and like it's fun to read like maybe one, max two, but I don't know, there's like so many other books on my TBR. I've been doing some shopping, so be expecting vlogs from all my shopping adventures coming very soon. But as of right now, I just have other books that I would rather start reading, and they're not super heavy on like the fall vibes, and like they're not super atmospheric reads. They're more like romances, or they're fantasies, or they're mysteries, or they're other things. So I think I'm just gonna end this video here because it's already been a week and I don't know, the books, they're not really hitting. Like neither of the books are really hitting. Like the first book I enjoyed a little bit, but the romance, again, nothing special, nothing extraordinary. I barely annotated anything. This book, again, I don't know, I just didn't click with the romance, and so I'm really wanting to find a romance that I'm like actually clicking with, and like a couple that I care about and a couple that I can get invested in. These books are just not really hitting right now. So, you know, we did do the challenge and I did read fall themed books for an entire week, but am I happy about it? I don't know. Was it really successful? Like, did I find 5-star reads? I did not, unfortunately, but I am really, really excited about the books that I'm going to be reading. So hopefully we will get a 5-star read soon. Keep an eye out for reading vlogs coming up very, very soon. But that is it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed. Thank you for staying through all the way to the end. And if you did, please make sure to comment the flower emoji so that I know that you made it to the end. And with all that being said, thank you so much for hanging out. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't. Drop a like on this video. Also, if you haven't already, please make sure to follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok, because I post a bunch of bookish content. I have a whole bookstagram and a book talk, so I hope to see you guys there. But that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you hopefully in my next video. Bye!